Dr. Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully you're having a great and exceptional day. It is Tuesday, Taco Tuesday, or other things that people say on Tuesday, but I'm not going to say it because I do like to keep it PG-13 around here. Anyways, just getting settled back in from the trip. So a lot of great money moves being made, a lot of things being happening slowly but surely. We're going to get there, and it's always every time, and that's why I always implore people to take a trip, get out of your hometown. I always implore people to do these things because not only do I get to meet a lot of great people that have the same mindset or have a different mindset that might even help elevate my mind, but I have the opportunity to get different perspective. And when I come back home, what's going on, Ronald? Hopefully all is well with you and yours. When I come back home, it helps me. I feel rejuvenated, and I'm able to just get back to work and get back to what I need to do and focus on what matters the most at the end of the day. Because a lot of times being at home, you can, and I'm not saying like within the house that I live in, but within the area that you live in, the job that you have a lot of distractions. I mean, heck, the media is a distraction. Music can be a distraction. A lot of times social media can be a distraction. Things that just take your attention. Everybody's attention span is like that nowadays. Take your attention all away from you. And away from what the things that matter the most. And at most, kind of like, I feel like I can breathe better when I get away from home. I feel like I have less pressure. Therefore, I'm able to calculate and execute a lot of things while I'm just sitting in a hotel room, Airbnb, on a beach, at a conference, whatever the case may be, because I've gotten away from my normal day to day. So that's why I like to travel. For that reason only. And I like to get away from the uptight folks all at the same time. So I leave it at that. But anyways, today's word of the day, because I know it's late, so I got to get this done because tomorrow's going to be a long day. Today's word of the day is metaphor. It stands for a figure of speech in which a word or a phrase that originally designates one thing is used to designate another, thus making an implicit comparison in the evening of life. And, reading books, listening to music, metaphors are a beautiful thing. But in my personal opinion, when you're trying to get down to business, to the brass tacks of what you're trying to do, it's like going into a store and buying something. 9 times out of 10, at least if you're like me, you know what you want when you go in the store. You're not a window shopper. So if you're trying to conduct business, whether you're trying to sell the service, sell the product, whatever the case may be, get access to capital, present what you're trying to do to a bank so that you can get more access to capital, because in a capitalist society in the United States of America, that's what it's all about. That's why in this election season, if they're not talking about how you're going to get access to capital, then they're really not talking about anything else. They're just distracting you. My personal opinion, no matter what party it is running for office. But I'll leave it at that. But anyways, you're supposed to get down to the brass tacks. If I go into a store and say, hey, I need X, Y, and Z, I expect a response being, here it is. Simple and plain and to the point. Here it is. Here you go. Okay. But I remember one time I needed to get some service done on my car, and I said, can you do X, Y, Z? And it's like, why do you need X, Y, Z done? I said, because I need, how did you come to this conclusion? And it's like, well, I did the crazy thing called a diagnostics. So how much you going to charge me? And then I'm like, I know you can provide the service, but they kept going on in circles and circles. And I'm like, this is not rocket science. Do you provide this service? Yes. How much does the service cost? But we want to know how it happened. I said, it doesn't matter how it happened. It happened. So can we move forward in an efficient manner? And you tell me, how much is it going to cost? They still were beating around the bush. Therefore, I took my business elsewhere. And I implore anybody who has a service, has a business, get down to the meat and potatoes. Do not talk in circles and try to make yourself seem much more smarter than you are. Okay? Because then you start sounding like a politician. Get to it. Most things, unless you're talking about quantum physics or you're talking about engineering, you're trying to be some sort of a scientist, you're in the medical field, most things are black and white in this life. Most things are yes or no. So with that being said, get down to the business so that you can move forward with your life. All right. And then if your service or definitely, especially if your customer service is that great, then obviously you could have a customer for life, or at least a customer for a couple of years. Something to think about. I'll leave it at that. All right. Today's quote of the day is by Keith Murray. I just saw his podcast interview with Willie D from the Ghetto Boys. It was really good. Check it out. He says, I'm not a huge fan of covers in general, but collaborations always make them more fun. They are sort of neutral territory. And the reason why I chose that specific quote today is because Mr. Keith Murray's his fame came from, hey, Shanae, how you holding up? Hopefully you're doing good down in the good old SIP, down in good old Jackson. Keith Murray, when you collaborate with people, you're able to get more things done. And I'm as introverted as the next person. If I could get everything done that I need to get done when it comes to podcasts, real estate, going to work, whatever the case may be, I would do that. But life does not work out that way. A lot of times you have to end up getting help from somebody. You don't have all the ideas, so therefore you need to be able to coordinate with other people. You put on an event, you can't. You think you're doing it all by yourself, but you're not, because you're always going to have to depend on other people. So when you put yourself in that position, you put yourself out there even more so, and you put yourself out there to the point where you can get a better job, you get more customers for your business, etc. and so forth. So on that note, do the great TV things, like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day, and as I always say, make money moves, or you're going to live, bro, like a fool. Take care, family. Have a great night.